Today is Tuesday, June 17th.
I'm Bruce Turner in Lynchburg, Virginia.
I'm Jeff Zayas in Napa, California.
And I'm Robert Taylor in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Hey, I'm Duke Carrico. On this edition of Tech and Coffee's Android Journal, Amazon's going to unveil a phone tomorrow. We'll talk about what we know about it. Hey, the United States wants to control your navigation apps. And I'll ask the panel about Google I.O. rumors, what they believe will happen, what won't. Hey, all this more in our apps. Hey, gang, welcome to episode 61. How's everybody this evening?
Senior 61, right?
Yeah, man. One more year and we can draw Social Security. Absolutely.
Yeah, but we can't get Medicare.
Yeah.
Well, we've got Obamacare. What else do we need? All right, man. Hey guys, let's talk about Android. Hey, there's a lot of rumors out here right now. We just came out of Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference. Now we're rolling into Google's I/O, and tomorrow Amazon has made an announcement. They're going to be announcing a phone. We're pretty sure it's a phone, but they've been, dropping some other announcements too, such as, Amazon Music, a little streaming service there that's a part of Prime. And Jeff, I think you're going to review it for your app tonight.
I am, very briefly.
Okay.
Because I'm Captain Obvious.
And another thing that they came out and said, is that their app store has tripled in the last year. It's tripled. It got right around 250,000 apps in the app store. Nothing like a Google Play Store or an Apple Store, but still yet, they're touting that. So let's talk about this phone. This phone's going to be announced tomorrow. And according to Boy Genius Report, here's the specs of the phone, okay? It's going to have a 4.7-inch 720 display. It's going to have a Qualcomm Snapdragon processor, 2 gigs of RAM, and those specs aren't very exciting. But supposedly this thing's got 6 cameras on it, guys. It's got a camera on the back to take pictures. It's got a camera on the front for selfies and hangouts, so forth, I guess. But then it's got 4 additional cameras on it that will follow your eyes, according to reports, to where you can actually tilt this phone. It'll know where you're looking and know what to display in a 3D format. Now, I'll tell you what I'm going to do here. Robert, I'm going to start with you on this one. A 3D phone from Amazon, man. What do you think?
Right. I'll put it with my 3D television and my 3D thong, and forget it. What a load of hooey.
Bruce, I'm going to give you a chance.
Oh, it's easy. Dumb, dumb, and dumber.
Well, that's 3.
Well, and it's exclusively on AT&T, and that's my network. So I mean, I can't hardly wait to try it out.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that they struck that deal as well with AT&T.
Well, just let me ask you, and I'm not trying to play devil's advocate here. I promise you, this is a serious question. To this point, nobody has done 3D, and it's been worth a dime. I accept that. But just because 3D hasn't worked to this point, does that necessarily make it a bad idea?
3D has not worked in any format, in any standard that's ever, I won't even call it a standard, in any device that has come out, 3D has not worked. Remember the Nintendo 3DS? Kids were walking around with massive headaches because of it. The 3D televisions, people were getting nauseous from watching the 3D television. Some people like it. Some people, it just drives them up the wall.
So I want. Oh, go ahead.
Why a 3D phone is even remotely necessary is.
Yeah, I wonder if they're trying to tie it in to 3D shopping, where you look at an object that you're buying in 3D, and you can rotate it, and you can see different things about it a little bit more enticing to purchase, on Amazon. And also, I wonder, the other thing is about the phone, is it going to be some kind of a subscriber phone, where you get is it going to be discounted for ad or whatever? Is there going to be some kind of way of them to do that? Because they have the chops to do it, they could do it.
If you watch the video, the teaser video that Amazon's put out here, I put it up here on the desktop. You can kind of see them tilting their heads and tilting their shoulders, to where it's probably, depending on how they look at it, it's probably revealing other things. And I know this is Amazon's product, and they're trying their best to make it look good. But is this going to be something that's never been done before? I mean, can we truly expect this to be a 3D phone, like 3D we've never seen in any other phone?
But is it really 3D, or is it more the idea of, just tracking your body movements to like gesture-based, to navigate through certain things?
Okay, so already we're ducking our heads down, we're texting, and now we're going to be rocking and weaving and bobbing, right?
Right, and that's why I'm going to call this the Stevie Wonder phone.
Yeah.
I can just see people, it's funny enough to see people in the airport all with their heads down on the phone, but now they're all going to be going like this.
I'm going to bring it back to full circle. Ready? Peacock, peacock, peacock.
All right. Hey, so we're expecting the phone tomorrow. We're expecting, this has long been rumored, guys. I'm going to ask you this. Will we see more than one phone? What do you think, Rob?
I doubt it. Being that this is their first foray, I think it's going to be really one phone at this point. But I wouldn't expect to see others later on down the line. I think the whole 3D tracking or motion connect like functionality will go away. I think that Amazon has the wherewithal to bring a phone to market. They have an ecosystem, and we talked about this morning, that they do want to be all-encompassing, like Google is, okay? But they want to be all-encompassing from the buying experience. They want to be the place that you go to spend money, whether you want to buy music, i.e. what Jeff is going to review, whether you want to buy video, like Amazon Prime videos, or whether it's products. So they want to be the retailer, not just online, but in all aspects. And so having the phone is another piece to that big giant puzzle. Will it be only one phone to start with? Yes. But I think they will go further into this and have other phones on the market.
Okay. Hey, Jeff, I want to ask you two questions. One, will we see this new phone by September? And two, will it be subsidized through a Prime membership?
I would say definitely you'll see it by September, because that's their modus operandi. They definitely want to have it out before Christmas. Would it be subsidized? It could be. It could have some ad support. It could have some, tied to Amazon Prime. It could be discounted by the amount that you purchase on Amazon. Maybe they'll discount the cost of the phone or the service based on your purchasing power, which would be very interesting. I think it's going to be more. It might even actually have some more kid-friendly features to it as well. Where they're trying to capture a younger market with a cheaper phone tied into an AT&T service that's lower cost, and then still supply them with ways of purchasing things, right, and build up that new customer base in terms of kids as well. So you know, there's smart cookies there. I mean, you know, they forked, you know, Amazon. I mean, they forked the Android operating system, came out with their HDX Kindles and things like that, and Kindle Fire, and you know, they did a very good job, and they tied it into their services and their ecosystems really well. And this is just a natural progression for them to do the phones. I think that's what everyone is kind of expecting. Now they did it like probably 4 years too late, but you know,
Bruce,
they're doing it.
Bruce, I want to ask you more along the price line. Will this phone on AT&T be cheaper because of, you know, Amazon's offers, or is it going to be the same AT&T plans that you get now, out of line?
Well, you know, I don't know. I'm sitting here. You know, all they really needed was a decent phone with halfway decent specs that would provide an Amazon buying platform and make it available, associated with Amazon Prime. No subsidization. You just get it. If it's on AT&T, that's fine. They negotiate whatever they negotiate there. But to come up with something with 6 cameras on it, something weird, unless they've got some research to back this up, this should not be the first step for an Amazon phone if they want to be successful. If they had something like this free, decent specs, save money on the 6 cameras, put it in a processor, put an extra bit of RAM in it or something else like that, make it available for free, people would probably get it that way, you know.
All right, I personally think that the cameras are redundant. I think it probably just needs 1 or 2 cameras to be able to see your eyes, but because you hold the phone, you might block a camera or 2, and that's what I think is going on there. I just think there's a little bit of redundancy there to make sure that it can always see your eyes. So, hey, listen, I will be watching tomorrow. I'm sure you guys will be too, and it'll be something that we will be talking about in the Tech and Coffee Hangout, and I'm sure we'll be covering it next week. All right, man, I'm going to move on now. I'm going to tell you guys on this next article here. I read this on The Verge. And I saw it this morning, and I wanted to include it in the show tonight because it really upset me. And basically what it is, the U.S. Transportation Department, they already think they've got power to regulate navigation apps on your smartphone, and now they're pressing Congress to put that authority into writing. And this is all according to the New York Times. Basically what's going on is you've got these navigation services that they're putting in cars, and the government has decided that they feel like they need to regulate these. And these auto manufacturers are coming back and are saying, well, you know, if you're going to strangle us, people are just going to pull their phones out and use their phones, and then you've got something even more dangerous because instead of watching where they're going, they're trying to navigate on their little phone screens. And we're talking about apps like Google Maps, Waze, Apple Maps, Nokia Maps, any kind of navigation software that's going to go on your phone. Our government wants a piece of this. And Jeff, I'm going to let you start on this one here. Your thoughts?
Well, you know I'm pro big government. I want really big, bloated government that gets in everyone's way. You know.
Press that frickin' mute button. I want that mute button, Jeff.
No, I think this is, you know, I could see there's a problem. You know, distracted drivers are a problem. It's a problem everywhere. But I don't think legislating it is the answer to any of this, you know. And obviously we have okay, in here in California, you're not supposed to be able to hold your phone and drive a car. Well, guess what? Everywhere I look, there is people holding phones, driving their cars, you know, and it's just what people do. It's how they handle it, you know. It's the way it works. I don't want government saying I don't have, you know, Google Maps or Waze or whatever, and I can't use it. So I'm not in favor of it, and I think it's just stupid. It is stupid.
But Bruce, don't you? You do see where the automakers are coming on this, because I mean, you know, if they've got their own navigation systems they're installing in cars, and the government's trying to to hinder these and control these, don't you see where they're saying, well, listen, if you're going to do it to us, what about these phone makers?
Nobody's going to tell me where to stick it. But I'll tell the government where to stick this. If I want my navigation, I don't need it on a heads-up display on my dashboard. I want to put it where I want to put it. It may be better on the upper left-hand corner of my windshield. It may be just above my steering wheel. I drive a Saturn. It's got the instrumentation thing in the center. How does that affect my driving? Because if I'm driving a regular car, I'm looking up and I can look down my speed number. If I want to look at my speedometer, I gotta look over to the right. This is just ridiculous governmental interference. It won't go. People won't stand for it. Not to mention the fact, could there be any collusion between Garmin and TomTom and some of these other outfits there? This is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I firmly agree with that. And also, I think Garmin's coming out with an Android app for $1.99 or something like that.
Yep, I saw that today as well.
Oh, wow, that's cool. So, Robert, we all know that you're a part of the Bigger Waters Act, and that you were for that one, for all that flood insurance.
Oh yeah, I was all for paying $28,000 a year for flood insurance.
So
our government has a case of, we want to be everything to everybody at all times. You will do what we decide is good for you, whether you like it or not. This is one of those things where a little common sense. We talk about distracted driving and how we see people, holding their phones all the time. That's true. But I also see just as many people fiddling with their radio or laying back in their seat almost like they're asleep driving, or beating the kids in the back seat. You be quiet back there. Don't make me pull this car over. Distracted driving means you are involved in the world around you. Okay? Now, should you do it? Absolutely not. Should you be playing with your phone? Absolutely not. But there is an amount of task that you can do safely. If I've got my phone mounted to my dashboard and I have set my destination ahead of time and I'm driving down the road and it's talking to me and telling me, turn right in a quarter of a mile, how is that distracted driving? Why does my government need to be involved with that? It doesn't.
What got me about this article is that they're saying, well, we really don't want to change anything now, but in the future we might. Okay, that's really what got me. In other words, we really don't have a problem with it now, but we might in the future, and if we do in the future, we won't control. That's what burnt me up.
Yeah.
But just to be on the other side, I understand why they're trying to do it, because they can. The government is the biggest bully on the block, basically. But in terms of how many accidents did navigation prevent, like with lane assist, telling you where you have to turn, people trying to make the exit before they realize it. So there's all these other things that are beneficial for all these apps that have saved so much time, energy, and frustration, and possible accidents as well, which no one factors into anything. And now with the Google Maps, or Google Navigation, it does have lane assist built into it. So it's very cool. I mean, I don't know why it even is coming up. It must be some automaker lobby.
I agree, Jeff. Great point, and I am an expert in distracted driving ever since McDonald's came up with this great special of 20 Chicken McNuggets for $5. I can drive my car. Granted, now I've got a stick shift. I can drive my car, hold a 20-count McDonald's chicken nuggets, and have the barbecue sauce in this hand, and dip and eat and drive and shift at the same time. You're exactly right.
That's because you were God blessed you with an additional set of hands. No one knows this.
It's multitasking at its finest. That's what it is.
If you actually turn around, you'll see another hand come out of you.
All right, man. I'm moving on. Hey, guys, we've been hearing for forever that basically these Google handset manufacturers, everybody that manufactures an Android device, has been paying Microsoft, and it might be as much as $2 billion a year that that Microsoft gets just off the patent agreements. And we never really knew what these patents were, and I'm not sure we still know. But basically, China ended up publishing them because of some questions that they got over the agreement between Microsoft and Nokia. Anyway, real quick, out of these mobile patents, Microsoft's got 310 of them. Google supposedly has implemented 127 of these patents into the Android operating system. Now, what I found interesting, I mean, we pretty much knew all this. We might not have known 127, but or $2 billion, but we knew that Microsoft was getting some money. But what really caught my attention about this is that even though Microsoft's owned these a lot of time for a long time, some of these were just recently acquired through this Rockstar consortium. Okay, and Rockstar is I think it's Microsoft, Oracle, Sony. There's several that's kind of banned here, and it looks like at some point they're really going to go after Google for all of these patents. Anyway, hey Jeff, what do you think about this, man?
Well, hats off to Microsoft for finding a revenue stream that comes automatically. They're a smart cookie in some respects, but eventually, I don't know when patents actually, if they, I'm not a patent lawyer, so I don't know when they become common. When they break out, how many years it takes for you to have a patent that kind of goes away into it's accepted. I don't know if that even takes place, but I always thought that they had, maybe with file storage or something like that, or how moving the files, they had to have patents on that. So I'm not an authority on it. I just think it's a great little revenue stream. If they're getting $2 billion a year for it, hey man.
Yeah, it's PP income, passive patent income.
Yeah.
Passive patent, and these patents, according to this article, are written very vague. So it's really hard to, figure out when. You can hear this bubble, toil and trouble. Witches cackling over the cauldron for what they might do down the road. But maybe this is a little warmongering, a little beating of the drum.
Hey, just to give you guys an example, here's number 6628641. Header error detection for wireless data sales. Okay, here's another one. Secure maintenance messaging in a digital communication network. All right, here's another one. Cellular radio communication system. These are all the names of patents.
Yeah, I'm sure, but buried within it is some kind of, how they handle the handshaking or whatever they're doing between the two processes to make it work. But hey, if they developed it and they patented it and other people are implementing it, they should get paid for
it. There's a limit though, Jeff, and that this article points out specifically at the end. This is just a brief highlight of what's wrong with the patent system, and basically, you can string together any number of words and call it a patent. And then at some point in the future, for the next 17 years, because that's how long a patent will last, you will collect revenue from it. And so, if you develop a new file storage mechanism, because this article specifically mentions FAT, if you develop a new file storage system, if you can prove that you have a working model of it, I agree you should have a patent. But if you say, I have this idea for a new storage system, then you should not be able to patent that.
Yeah.
Be able to collect in the future.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I don't know, buried within a patent, there must be some kind of qualifications for, like when you're talking about cellular handshaking or whatever. there's got to be something in there that's covering the actual act-knack relationship between what's going on, and if they implement that, then yeah, I mean,
Jeff, by the way, I have patented the black, gray, orange hat scheme. You owe me 25 cents.
this is actually not that. This is everyone thinks this is San Francisco Giants. It is not. It is Tokyo Giants.
I don't think he said anything about the brand name on it.
He didn't.
About the color
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's Japanese. It's not a worldwide patent. Those Japanese do anything they want.
You've used my color pattern in a public forum, and therefore you owe me money. I want my PP income.
Yeah, you know where your PP income's coming. It's going right down that PP toilet.
Piss on it.
I'll tell you what's the truth. I invented a thong to cover my PP. Let's move on, guys. Okay, first of all, we got Google I/O coming up in 2 weeks. And, even though we don't know for sure, we've got a pretty good idea based upon a lot of leaks that's been coming out of Google themselves for quite a while. And we're going to see a lot of stuff around Android and maybe beyond that. And first of all, I want to talk about one rumor right up front. Android 5.0, or the L-themed version of Android that we all expect to possibly be Lollipop. Now, the reason why we think we're going to see this is Google's Twitter account posted a picture of Google Now, and the time on this screenshot was 5 o'clock. And they've done this in the past to introduce or to hint at pending versions of Android. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to kind of go down the line here. And Robert, I'm going to start with you on this one. Are we going to see 4 or 5 at Google I/O, or are we going to see Android 5.0 Lollipop?
I don't think that we're going to see 4 or 5. I think they've reached the end of what they're going to do with KitKat. I am going to be a little bit surprised if we see 5.0 at I/O. They're just now rolling out the 4.4.3. Maybe. I don't know. But I don't think they're going to go any further with KitKat. I think the next iteration is going to be 5.0. I'm just going to be surprised if it actually releases at I/O so quickly after coming off 4.4.3.
It may not release, but they may announce.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
We've seen a lot of changes within the Google's Hangout app on Android. And but one piece that's kind of missing of that is Google Voice. Are we going to see any announcements around Hangouts and Google Voice merging into one unified app?
Let me think about this. Let me put on my orange and black hat and drop 25 cents or drop a dime. I don't know. It would make sense for them to do it, and this would be a good opportunity. But yeah, I don't know. I'll defer that to somebody else who would know, like maybe Robert or Bruce.
I'm going to speculate one particular thing. I'm not sure whether we're going to see a major announcement about Google Voice, but one thing that I do know is that they did drop the XMPP protocol. Here we go with the PP theme again. Back in May, right? However, did you notice that Google Voice is still working with third-party apps and with my ObiTalk device? It is still connecting to Google Voice and allowing me to place phone calls through my Obi. So even though they said it was ending back in May, they haven't dropped it yet.
They haven't deprecated
There's
it.
some fly in the ointment somewhere regarding getting rid of the XMPP protocol that has caused a delay in them killing it off.
All right. All right. Hey, Bruce.
It's time for Google to put up or shut up on this Google Voice Hangout, insanely resource hogging Google Talk plugin. Let's get out the WebRTC. Let's get the HTML5 thing working. Let's quit playing around with that. Yeah, whether it's 5.0, and I don't think 5.0 is going to be announced at I/O. The fragmentation wolves would start howling like crazy, and that's an issue that the Google has to deal with. I'm still on 4.3 on my Note 2. My wife's S4 got 4.4. So I just want to see them fix this, this Google Voice thing and make it right. They've been talking about it. So.
All right, hey Bruce. I saw a Nexus 10 on eBay heavily discounted the other day. Are we going to see a new Nexus 10 come out of I/O?
I don't know. I'd rather think not. I think the market is driving, the tablet market. I think the tablet market's really changing. I don't think it's a growing market. I think people are siding on 7-inch and 8-inch tablets. I don't know. Then you got Microsoft, doing all this TV advertising about the Surface Pro 3 and, let it be the replacement for your laptop. I'd rather think not a new Nexus 10. That's just my opinion.
All right. Bruce, I got to say here, I kind of agree with you. I think, at least in the West anyway, I think tablets have reached a saturation point. And I just don't think, as far as if there is such a thing, the traditional tablet as we know it, iPads and 10-inch tablets, I think that there's not a demand for them like there once was.
You know what I think there'd be a demand for? You probably saw the video. It went viral all over the place. It was talking about Fusion, this Chromebook / Android thing, a very elegantly done video. Obviously, it's not from Google or anything, but it's a concept video. That would be far more interesting than a new Nexus 10 tablet.
Yep, I saw that and liked it. Hey, Robert. What about a Chromebook Pixel 2? Isn't it about time for Google to show the world how to build an eloquent Chromebook version 2?
Well, yeah. They showed that they could develop and produce a Chromebook that is a powerful machine, but it had a very hefty price tag. It would be nice. Do I think we're going to see one? I haven't heard very many rumors about one. There have been a couple of rumblings, but I think the biggest rumble is $1,200 for a Chromebook. Be serious. If anything, we really need to see a Pixel-like device at less than $700, $800. The high end is just not what a Chromebook does. It's not a laptop. You can't price it like a laptop. It's powerful, yes. Nobody's going to pay $1,200 for a high end Chromebook like that. Not going to happen. That's why the Pixel, while it is nice, its specs are fabulous and it's quick, but it's not the end device. There are millions more Chromebook, HP and Acer Chromebooks out there than Pixels.
Okay, and let's Jeff, this one's gonna come back to you. Are we gonna see a Nexus 8 tablet at Google I/O this year?
Probably. That's the one size they don't have.
Well, yeah. To be honest with you, I think I don't think there's going to be a Nexus 7. I don't think there will be another Nexus 7. I think this Nexus 8 is going to take its place. And I've been hearing some rumors that it might be made by HTC. This article that I've got in front of me says Asus, but we'll see. I think HTC is going to be the maker of it. All right, hey Bruce, we've been hearing a little bit here about this developer-only Tango tablet, and this is this Project Tango. You know, it's got the multiple cameras on it to be able to map 3D indoors. This is not in any form or fashion a consumer product. It's nothing that I don't think any kind of Google fanboy needs to be looking for. But are we going to be hearing quite a bit about Project Tango in 2 weeks at Google I/O?
You know, I think so. It may not be part of the public thing, but I think there'll probably be some information that'll come out of I/O, for developers. It may be a bullet point in a presentation that's public as far as a live stream, but I think there'll be some information coming out in other meetings there at I/O.
All right.
I think it's interesting.
Yeah, it's probably more for inventory control and business-oriented kind of applications. But I think Google is making a concerted effort to do that, to push more towards the business side, business applications.
Yeah, and the article didn't make it in, but just on that note, Jeff, Bruce was talking about it. It was there's 32,000 Chromebooks in schools in Virginia here all of a sudden, just in Google Apps, and I think that schools, businesses, look out, man. Those Chromebooks are coming to town. All right, man. Hey, listen, here's something that we've talked way too much about. I know I get tired of talking about it. Android Wear. What are we going to see? Let's see where to stop at. Hey, Robert, I'll throw back to you. What are we going to see out of Android Wear at Google I/O?
Well, I expect some kind of watch wearable technology to come out of I/O. I think Google got a really bad taste in their mouth over the Google Glass. People, according to the story article, people are still buying glass, but it is not the runaway hit that they thought it was going to be. It is way too expensive. It's way too buggy. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of Google Glass announcement wearable stuff. But I do expect some kind of watch announcement to come out of I/O, especially with the changes that they've made to the software for wearable. What was that announcement? 3 months ago, 4 months ago. So we probably will see a watch of some type displayed. I think glass will be downplayed tremendously. That's what I suspect.
All right. I think.
In other words, it's still not a consumer product, Jeff.
I'm gonna jump in here just for a second, and I'm gonna go back to the idea that Google has started to make some announcements with Google Glass for businesses again. And where they're trying to change the perception of it and make it more business oriented. And that makes sense, because I was actually listening to Twit, and this guy brought up an example of businesses that may want to implement this, and that would be someone who has to access manuals in a real-time basis, and they're like a lineman or something on a telephone pole. It would be very good for them to be able to reference some material about what they're looking at and how they have to repair it in a field of view. So there's, that's kind of interesting stuff. So if they can get out of that mode of it being, make it more business acceptable, and then you're not going to see all these, other things about it. So, I think I disagree. I think Google Glass is here to stay. It's just their trajectory is not going to be like this. It's going to be a slow grind going up. And I think it's going to be business.
And listen, we've had a good time, Jeff, out of the arguments that you and I have had back and forth about whether it's a consumer product or not. Okay.
Anyone can buy it.
And right now, anyone can. It is a beta program, but anybody can go to google.com/glass, and if you've got $1,500 to waste, you can be a Google Glass Explorer. Yes.
Right. And I can do the same thing and go to eBay and buy a Betamax VCR.
Did you see that article? Jeff's talking about business, and I do agree with Jeff that that's where they're going to spread out. But I saw an interesting article about Google Glass and law enforcement. Can you imagine RoboCop? Facial recognition. Scary.
Yeah. You know what? I do. I see a lot of value there, and I do see value in glass. I do. Listen. Here's I'm just going to jump in here. I've been asking your all's opinions and just giving my own where I want to. First of all, we're going to see LG and Moto 360. We're going to see them at I/O, but they've already been giving us sneak peeks. But I'm going to go out on a limb here, guys. I'll tell you another watch that we're going to see at Google I/O. We're going to see a Samsung Android Wear watch. Okay, let's not forget that Samsung and Google kind of come to an understanding, and Samsung's got a lot of experience in making their own watches, being with their own software or with their Tizen software, and I would not be one bit surprised to see a third Android Wear watch from Samsung be unveiled at I/O. I'm serious. All right, hey, listen. We've been hearing that the Moto 360 is going to feature wireless charging. It's going to have the inductive charging, and probably going to hit around $250. How much you think that LG watch is going to go for, Jeff?
I'll go with the 250.
All right. Hey. What about Chromecast, Bruce? We going to see any Chromecast announcements?
Yeah, I think there'll be some announcements about ongoing and newly developing partnerships. I tell you, I really love my Chromecast. I'm using it. I'm using it probably twice as much in the last couple of months than I used it when I first got it.
I like the Chromecast.
Would you care to elaborate how you're using it?
Well, I'm using it to cast stuff from my Chromebook to the TV. That was a beta function for a while, being able to cast tabs in Chrome, but it's working really good. My wife has been watching a lot of health videos about thyroid, and she has an autoimmune thing called Hashimoto's, and her adrenals are shot, and so she's telling me about these videos and everything, and I'd like for you to see this. It's a lot more pleasant to watch on our Samsung TV than it is to try to get the angle and the lid right on her laptop to be able to see it. So that's where we've been using it. We've been watching a lot of YouTube videos and casting tabs that have video on it.
All right. So, okay, man, back to you, Robert. What about Android and automobile? Are we going to see any announcements around any kind of advancements in Android in automobiles? We've already seen some, with Audi. Apple's recently said, they've got the CarPlay, which is it's an iOS-based system. What are we going to see at I/O from Android around the automobile?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure on this point. It is a growing technology as we talk about the smartwatch and the wearables, and we talk about phones, but this is one area that seems to. It's an area that needs Android, in my opinion, where we have integrated navigation or we have a smart car. We've all seen Keith Milner in his electric car with the app and his Android phone. I would like to see more, but the announcements on this seem to be few and far in between. I don't know if that's because automobile manufacturers, are hesitant to latch on, or whether they're going to try and develop their own. I think the big thing is getting the automobile manufacturers to agree to develop the smart car in conjunction with Google, and I don't think that's happened yet. So I don't know that we're going to see very much. We may see some new heads-up display type things. We might see some new in-dash type devices, but I don't think that we're going to see a very wholly integrated smart car where your car tells your phone, hey, it's time for an oil change. Hey, it's time for, tire rotation, or the air pressure in, the left rear driver's side tire needs air. Once manufacturers sign on and agree that they're willing to embrace the Android, then we will see more automobiles. So I don't expect much at this point because the automobile manufacturers seem to be holding back some.
The one automobile, Tesla, has implemented a lot of stuff with Android. They have an Android app that you can control the temperature of your car, it tells you the charging, tells you certain different characteristics of the car, and I think they have in the navigation also they implemented the Chrome browser and stuff. So I think the boutique car makers are doing it. Obviously there might be a push for other people because Tesla is kind of like the leader in terms of technology.
And I would agree with that, but they're a higher end car like Audi. I mean, and they do have some innovative stuff, but we really need to see the big three. Chevy, Ford, Chrysler. Those guys need to step on board before we're going to really see big announcements of implementation of Android in the auto.
Hey, Bruce. Google's been buying up a lot of robot companies over the last few months. We going to see any kind of announcements at I/O to include any of these daggone robots?
No, I don't think people are really interested in hearing more about robots and drone delivering vehicles and things like that. I think that's going to be that may be playing in the background, but I don't expect to hear anything of substance about robots at I/O.
I think if there's a robot on stage at I/O, it's just a daggone marketing ploy from Google, and it's nothing of any kind of substance. That's my opinion.
Hey, listen, a robot. You put on some of these robots like the video that's on the article that we're looking at here, and you combine that with Google Glass. I mean, it's a freak show. So no, I don't think they need that kind of bad PR.
Hey, Jeff. What about Nest? Apple has recently announced a lot of their, Apple's really pushing into the home automation, so forth, etc. Are we going to see anything from Google around Nest and home automation?
I think we are. I think there will be other things, maybe some kind of standards and things like that will take place. And obviously, I think that the smoke alarm got brought back, right? The Wave, I think they called it. I don't think you're going to see ads served up on your thermostat or your refrigerator, but I think they're going to, home automation is another, or home integration is a big marketplace, right? And Google wants to be into that home, into your home in all aspects. So I say yes, there's going to be more, definitely more.
All right. I agree. And one more here. This is Project Era. This is the Lego phone that, basically you buy the pieces and parts and build your own phone out of the modular approach. Any kind of announcements expected from you guys around Project Era?
Yeah. But I think we didn't cover one point that is going to be a big part of the I/O. Is going to be the Google Fit. The whole healthcare integration with working out and all that stuff is going to be, I think, a big part of the I/O this time. Just toss that out there.
All right, fair enough. All right, man. Hey, gang, you are listening to Tech and Coffee's Android Journal, and we are a daily Google Hangout. If you'll head to techandcoffee.info and click on Join the Hangout, you'll find a link to where you can come hang out with us. We do it every day. Several of us work from home, and yeah, we love to talk tech and drink our favorite beverage. We have a Twitter and a YouTube account. Catch us at Tech and Coffee One. I'm sorry, a Twitter and Facebook account. YouTube, we're at Tech and Coffee. Hey, as I mentioned, our favorite social network is Google Plus. You can catch our podcast on Stitcher Radio and iTunes. Hey, questions, comments, snide remarks, AJ at techandcoffee.info. All right, guys, what kind of apps we got this week, Bruce? I'm going to start with you, my friend.
All right, well, let me grab my guitar here. I know Jeff will get excited about that. You know, there are a lot of guitar tuning apps out there. There are a dime a dozen. Some of them are good, some of them are not. The one that I like a lot, and I was trying to get another camera set up, but this is called Pitch Lab. Pitch Lab. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pluck a string here, and you can just watch what it does.
Hey, that's
it will tell you, you know, what you need to do, and it'll say tune down, it'll say tune up, and so you have the visual, but you also have the lettering on the front. And I want to tell you something. The other nice thing about this, I mean, you know, some of this stuff is, you know, probably not all that necessary, but you have different ways that you can do this tuner. Someone may like this particular type of a tuner. Then you've got this particular type tuner. And then you've got something really wacky like that, and then this really gets freaky, you know. And then you have this kind. But it's a really interesting app, and it works. I have a pedal, Boss pedal tuner. I'm sure you've seen it, where you can, you know, it's just in line to your direct box, and when you step on the pedal in your tuning, it doesn't go through the house, and you just see the series of lights and everything. And then when you hit the pedal again, then it's going out into the house. But that thing started acting up on me for some reason. I haven't been able to figure out if it's, you know, I've tried a couple different 9-volt batteries, but this little app has saved me for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I rather like it. I stick it on the music stand, put it in that horizontal position, and it's working really good.
And the name one more time, please?
Pitch Lab, all one word, Pitchlab.
Very good, very good. Thank you very much, Bruce. Okay, Jeff, what you got, man?
Well, you know, because I like making Robert cringe, I decided to go for the Amazon Prime app, Amazon Music Lab app. So, hold on, let me try to do this the right way. So, first of all, here's the Amazon Music. And if you're a Prime member, it's free now with your account. You could add all these albums and playlists to it. One thing I hate about this app, and I hate any app that does this, it doesn't orient correctly to how my tablet is. So right now my tablet is in landscape mode, but yet the app itself stays in portrait, which is, you know, absolutely sucks, because now I got to turn my whole thing around, right? So when you add it, when you add Prime Music to your, it was formerly, I think, Cloud Library or something like that. Now it's your music library. They do have playlists that you could add, which I don't know if you can see this. They have their own playlist, and you can just like add that playlist to your library, which is a nice feature. So if you wanted to have like the, you know, the 50 great guitar songs playlist, they'll have like Journey and Boston and Zeppelin and, you know, kind of old time kind of thing. So they kind of have a selected songs that you can use a playlist. What you can't do, you cannot shuffle the playlist or shuffle all the songs in the playlist. All you can do is select the playlist and then play it, which is, you know, Google Music is far more robust than the Amazon Music. And then you just add you can add songs to your own cloud library from Amazon Prime or purchase them to your library. And I played around with it. I like Google Music way better because I can actually, you know, I loaded up all my library up there. So and I think it's just formatted better, you know, for how it works. So, but you know, it's free with Amazon Prime, which I already have. So I decided to give it a shout. It's okay. It's not great. It needs some work. like everything else in the world. But I liked it. It's I added some songs for free, so what the heck. Their selection of free songs is not it's not huge.
I agree with you, Jeff. First of all, I want to say I like it too. But if you're really hardcore into music, you're probably a whole lot better off with a Google or a Spotify type service.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. At Amazon streaming music, pretty cool, man. Hey, Rob, what you got, man?
I'm going to pass for tonight. We're running a little short on time, so I'll catch up next week.
All right. Real quick. My app is called Quick Social, and first of all, it's rated 4 stars by 231 people. It's been +1 on Google Plus 1,802 times. What makes Quick Social so cool? Well, let me see if I can show you here. Here's my product cam, and if you can see here, here's my phone desktop. I'm going to pull down here, and this right across the top here, if you'll notice, I've got 3 arrows here. I've got a Facebook icon, a Twitter icon, and a G Plus icon. So if I want to post to one of these, just to one of these, I can select it. And at this point, I know it's kind of washed out for you people watching on YouTube, but I can go and I can add a photo. And I'm going to pick my gallery. And here's a picture of Leo Laporte, and there it is. So now I can come up here and I can make a post and post just to Facebook, all from just my drop down. Okay, but what if I wanted to post to all 3 of these social networks at the same time? And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit these 3 arrows. And it works just like I showed it on Facebook. You can you can't see it because it's washed out here. Let me see if let me pull this up on the desktop and you can see it better. This is one of their examples here. You've got the 3 arrows here, and you can click these on and off. So say if I just wanted to post this same thing to Facebook and Google Plus, I could turn the Twitter function off and just post to these 2 social networks at the same time. It also has a feature, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to demo this, or wasn't counting on this white screen washing out as bad as it did, but it's got this right here to where I can click this, and if you can see now, this is moved into a floating window on top of my screen, so I can basically just take this thing. It's not wanting to move now, but you can take it and move it to a location on your desktop, and it's just there floating, and then when you're ready to use it again, you can just tap on it and it will maximize back to your screen. So now,
so you're basically making it a widget.
Yes, it's a floating widget. It's a floating widget on top of like I say, you can move it around.
So now, is this your preferred way of posting?
Duke? I think he froze.
Yeah.
We seem to have lost Duke's app. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I thought I saw his pen move for a second, but I think we are officially. This is the end of Android Journal episode 61. Even though it says we're live.
Yeah. Well, it's working. He's coming out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's he's in slow-mo.
Yeah, he's moving around. He just doesn't hear us.
Yeah.
I see the pen. Well, but don't you guys think that Google I/O is not going to be as... There he goes. It just dropped out.
We will catch you guys a little bit later Here I go. Let's see here. Yeah, we're having some technical difficulties here. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you in 7.